Welcome back, YouTube. Sensei Domino here. Today I'm going to be showing the second group of my 1973 Topps Baseball starter set. This group will be cards 251 through 500. And as I usually do, I'll show the fronts and the backs of the first few cards. Then I'll just show the fronts so the video isn't too terribly long. We'll go ahead and get started. Roger Nelson. Next we have Charlie Fox. Looks like he has Joe Amalfitano and John McNamara as part of his staff. Next we have this great image of Mark Belanger. And this card will have to be replaced. There's a nasty crease right here and then another one right there. But what a cool image that is. Next we have Bill Stoneman. I'm not sure what he's looking at. Next we have this infamous Reggie Jackson card. Gotta be the worst image in this whole player run. I mean, you couldn't tell me that they couldn't find a better image to use for Reggie Jackson. But still, this is a card you have to have in your collection because it's so bad. It's, you know, one of those things that's so bad it's good. Next we have Chris Zachary. I think the quality control of the 73 Topps set has got to be one of the worst in history. The centering is just atrocious. You know, the front of this is not horrible, but then you look at the back and you know, it's like a complete miscut. Next we have Tommy John. Now this 1973 Topps set was the last set that Topps put out with a high series. 1974 did not have a high series. So originally I wasn't planning on making this set, but because I was able to find such a great starter set with, you know, probably 85% of the high series already included, I've decided to try to build this set as well. So we got Jim Holt. Next we have Gary Nolan. Next, Pat Kelly. Jack Aker. Legendary Ivy at Wrigley Field right there. George Scott. Another pretty cool image. Next we have a marked checklist. I mentioned in my last video I haven't actually tried to figure out how consistent these checklists are to the starter set that I purchased. Looks like this one was complete. With the exception of maybe the ones where there's X's, maybe they didn't have those. But I haven't tried to figure out how similar the starter set that I bought is the actual checklist. At some point, I'll probably do that. That'll definitely have to be replaced. Don't want a marked checklist. Next, we have Gene Michael. Mike Lum. Lloyd Allen. Jerry Morales. Tim McCarver. Great broadcaster. Fantastic player. Another fantastic player, Louis Tiant. Tom Hutton. It's a really cool image right there. Ed Farmer. This is a great image right here. Chris Spire. Trying to figure out, is that Johnny Bench? No, that looks like the Phillies. Thought that might be his rookie, but I guess not. Next we have Daryl Knowles. Next we have the great Tony Perez. I have this little marker right here, so I know that I've put this in one of my my slideshows. So I know which cards I've put on there and which I haven't. I haven't done one of those in a couple of months because they're so time consuming, but definitely would like to put one out here in the fairly near future. I did enjoy doing those. Next we have Joe Levitto. I love the sort of around the batting cage images. Next we have Bob Miller. Baltimore Orioles team. I love team photos like this. Mike Strahler. Mike Jorgensen. Steve Hovley. Ray Sadecki. Glenn Borgman. Don Kessinger. Frank Lindsay. Eddie Leon. Gary Gentry. Bob Oliver. It's kind of a cool image right there. Cesar Cedeno. Nice player. I know I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Rogelio Moret. Another really nice player. Jose Cruz. believe he's a good TTM signer. I think he's like $2 per. Definitely have to send some cards out to him. It's a great price. I mean, I'd prefer free, but if they're going to charge, $2 is really kind of negligible considering postage these days. Next, we have Bernie Allen. Steve Arlen. Next, this is another card I'll have to replace. Bert Campaneris, who's a great TTM signer. Love the image with the batting cage, but there is a little crease right there, so I'll definitely have to replace this one. And this one as well. It's got a nasty crease right down the center. Sparky Anderson, Hall of Famer. You can see right there. Got old Ted Kozlowski on his coaching staff too. Next we have Walt Williams. Ron Bryant. This one's definitely miscut. Ted Ford. Billy Grabarkowitz. Terry Crowley. Now that's a great image. Looks like Crowley's going to try to bowl into Thurman Munson. Probably not going to be successful. Awesome image there. Nelson Briles. Duke Sims. Tom Bergmeyer. Another card that'll need to be replaced. Boots Day. There's a crease right there. Skip Lockwood. Paul Popovich. The great Dick Allen. Hopefully one day he's in the Hall of Fame. Certainly deserving. Joe Decker. Oscar Brown. Jim Ray. Ron Swoboda. That's a pretty cool image right there. The clouds in the background. Next we have John Blue Moon Odom. San Diego Padres. Danny Cater. This one does have a little bit of a wax stain. I've said it before. I'd prefer not to have the wax stain there, but if there is, I don't mind it too much because there's sort of that nostalgia of opening up wax packs and having that wax stain on the card. Obviously, you don't have that anymore, so a little bit of a nostalgia kick with that. Next we have Jim McLaughlin. Jim Spencer. Next we have Hall of Famer Lou Brock. Rich Hinton. Gary Maddox. The great Billy Martin. That's interesting. This guy has no name. Wonder if that's like an uncorrected error or something. Next we have Al Downing. Boog Powell. Really nice player. Next we have Daryl Brandon. John Lowenstein. Bill Bonham. The great Rod Carew. This one's a little miscut, but it's pretty sharp. All right, let me clear this stack out of the way. Move on to the next one. All right, next we have Carl Morton. John Felsky. Gene Kleins. Freddie Patek. Pretty nice image right there. Bob Tolan. Tom Bradley. Dave Duncan. Long time part of Tony La Russa's staffs with Oakland and St. Louis. Next we have another marked checklist. Dick Tidrow. Nate Colbert. Next we have this little subset, Boyhood Photos of the Stars. Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. I'm not the biggest fan of this subset, but I'm sure some people enjoy it. Sam McDowell. Jim Catfish Hunter, Hall of Famer. Chris Spire. And Gaylord Perry, Hall of Famer. Next we have the Kansas City Royals. Rennie Stennett. Dick McAuliffe. Jimmy Stewart. Don Stanhouse. Steve Bry. Billy Parker. Mike Marshall. Ross Grimsley. Jim Nettles. Cecil Upshaw. Joe Rudy, really nice player. Fran Healy. He used to have a show on the Golf Channel. I'm not sure if it's still on there, but I've definitely seen it a few times. Eddie Watt, fantastic TTMer. Next we have Jackie Hernandez. Rick Wise. Rico Petrocelli, nice player. Brock Davis. Bert Hooton. Bill Buckner. Laren LeGros. Mike Kekich. This is a cool image right here. Oscar Gamble. Clyde Wright. Darrell Evans, really nice player. Larry Durker. Another cool image right here, Frank Duffy. A little bit of a, I don't know if the camera will catch it, yeah. A little bit of a crease right there, so I'll probably replace this one. Next we have Gene Mock. Larry Doby on his staff. Next we have Lenny Randall. Vincente Romo. The airbrush job on his hat. This one will need to be replaced. Mike Hegan. It's a nice bend right there. Next we have Diego Segui. The great Don Baylor. Another really nice player, Jim Perry. He does do TTMs. I plan on getting a couple cards out to him relatively soon. Next we have Don Money, another gorgeous airbrush job. That almost looks fluorescent. Next we have Jim Barr. Ben Ogilvie. Love seeing these old school batting gloves. Next we have the New York Mets. Mickey Lolich. Lee Lacy. Dick Drago. Cool image right here. Jose Cardinal. Not sure what's on his hat. Or if that's actually on the card. I'm not sure. Definitely interesting, though. Next we have Sparky Lyle. Roger Metzger. Grant Jackson. Dave Cash. Rich Hand. George Foster. Really nice player. Definitely want to pick up his rookie card. He's got a scowl on that card. That's just awesome to see. Next we have the great Gaylord Perry, Hall of Famer. That's card 400. All right, let me go ahead and move this stack away. We'll go ahead and finish up the last stack. All right, next we have Jack Hyatt. Sonny Jackson. Chuck Brinkman. Cesar Tovar. Paul Lindblad. Jim Colborn. Ivan Morrell. Ray Corbin. Manny Mota. Fantastic TTM signer. This is a card that'll need to be replaced. Tom Timmerman. It's got a crease right here. Next we have Ken Rudolph. Next, another card that'll need to be replaced. Marty Patton. And there's a crease right here. I don't mind ding corners, but creases sort of bug me, especially in the 70s. I mean, I can sort of overlook them, for like older cards, 50s pre-war, stuff like that. But the 70s, I definitely prefer not to have creasing. Next, we have Paul Shaw. Scipio Spinks. Bobby Grich. Really nice player. Casey Cox. Tommy Agee. Love this image right here. Bobby Winkles. Jimmy Reese on his coaching staff. John Roseborough. This card will need to be replaced. Bob Robertson. You got a nasty crease right there. Goes all the way down. He looks like he's mad. Dig those sideburns, though. Look at that. Next we have Johnny Jeter. Denny Doyle. Alex Johnson. Dave LaRoche. Rick Auerbach. Wayne Simpson. Jim Ferry. Love this image right here, Vita Blue. Jerry Moses. Dan Frisella. Willie Horton, nice player. This one's a little rough. San Francisco Giants. I don't mind a little corner wear. That's got corner wear. Looks like some edge damage from maybe rubber bands or something. So probably have to replace that one. Jim Andrews. Jim McAndrew, sorry. Read that wrong. This one will need to be replaced. John Kennedy. Got some creasing up at the top. Enzo Hernandez. Eddie Fisher. Glenn Beckert. Gail Hopkins. Dick Dietz. Danny Thompson. This one will need to be replaced. Ken Brett, George Brett's brother. It's got a bend right there. Next we have Ken Berry. Jerry Royce. Joe Haig. John Hiller. Next we have Ken Aspromonte. Look at that coaching staff. Rocky Colavito, Warren Spahn. That's awesome. Next we have Hall of Famer Joe Torre. Fantastic player and manager. Paul Casanova. Another marked checklist. Tom Haller. Bill Melton. Dick Green. Jim Mason. Jimmy Howarth. Love this image right here. Bill Freehan. In my mind, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Corkins. It's got a wrinkle right here. Ken Tatum. Chicago Cubs. Dave Giusti. Not sure how you say that. Jose Arcia. Mike Ryan. Tom Griffin. Love that image. Dan Monzon. Only have a few of these. All-time batting leader, Ty Cobb. And all-time strikeout leader, Walter Johnson. Of course, that's since been broken by several people. Hal Lanier. Chicago White Sox. Rick Russell. Doll Maxville. Ernie McAnally. I think that's right. Norm Cash, really nice player. Love that image. Danny Ozark. Bobby Wine was a nice TTM signer. Not sure if he's still signing or not. Bruce Dalcanton. Dave Campbell. Soup. Longtime commentator on ESPN. Next we have Jeff Burroughs. Nice player early on with the Texas Rangers. Won an MVP. Next we have Claude Osteen. Amazing TTM signer. I actually have this card signed. Next we have Bob Montgomery. Just a few more cards to go. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing this portion of the starter set. Pedro Borbon. Duffy Dyer. I think he's a good TTM signer. Rich Morales. Tommy Helms. Ray Lamb. Reds Schoendienst. Hall of Famer. Greg Nettles. Really nice player. Sort of a borderline Hall of Famer. Maybe Hall of Very Good. Bob Moose. And the last card, Oakland A's. So that's all I have for you today. Until next time, thanks for watching the video, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.